Hey folks, in this short video we're going to learn how to divide polynomials. We're going to learn how to do it using a method called the box method. You've probably seen the standard algorithm for dividing polynomials, and if that's what you're looking for, I'll put the link to that in this video description. But the standard algorithm for dividing polynomials is very similar to the standard algorithm for dividing just regular old two-digit numbers. And I've always taught this. This is what it's called, the standard algorithm, because most people teach it. But I've recently come across this other strategy, which is dividing with a box, or with the box method. And in order to understand how to divide polynomials with a box, we first need to understand how to multiply polynomials with a box. And I'm not going to go into full detail about how to do that. I'm hoping you already come into this video fluent in how to multiply by a box. If you're not, I'm going to put also a video link in the show description for how to multiply with a box. But what I want us to first do is let's come over here to this example on the left, and we're going to look real quickly at how to multiply with a box. And I'm going to pull out a couple of important pieces of information that are going to help us whenever we divide with a box here in a minute. So if I take x minus 5 one factor and x plus 2 the other factor, I'm going to multiply to fill in my box, and my product will go in here. And so the first thing I want you to notice is that our x squared, this quadratic term, kind of takes the place of this top left box. That's the first thing I want you to remember. The other thing, if I keep going, so let's see, x times negative 5 is negative 5x, x times 2 is 2x, and negative 5 times 2 is negative 10, is those terms right there, whenever we multiply with a box, are often going to be like terms that combine, okay? In this case, they combine to make that middle term, that linear term of 3. So I want you to kind of store that in your memory bank, and we're going to come over here and we're going to solve this same problem. Now you might see x minus 5 times x plus 2 gives us this trinomial. So therefore, if we take this trinomial and divide by x minus 5, we already know the answer is going to be x plus 2. We see it from this example over here, but let's pretend like we don't know that, because I think that by connecting these two examples, we will see a little better about how this division process goes. So here is my dividend, here is my divisor, and I'm going to take that divisor, what we're dividing by, and put it on the left with the hopes that we find our quotient, which would be what we end up with on the top of our box. And so in order to do that, I'm going to start by taking my dividend here, and it's going to go inside my box. We just have to figure out where to put each of these values, okay? The first thing I wanted us to retain was that this x squared, this quadratic term, is going to take the place of this top left box. And once you have that, the rest of the problem almost becomes like a riddle. Let's figure out what goes where. So x squared divided by x gives us what? And hopefully you're saying x. If you don't think of it as division, just say, okay, just say what number times x gives us x squared. And hopefully you can identify that top part that above the x squared is that purple x. And then once I know this is x, x times negative 5 is negative 5x. You might be hitting a wall at this point, but remember the other thing I wanted you to pull over here. Remember how these two terms together, the negative 5x and the 2x, added up to give us this 3x? Well, pretending that I don't know it's a 2x, if we look over here, I'm looking for these two boxes to combine to make that negative 3x. And so hopefully you're saying, oh, well then this would have to be a 2x, because 2x times or 2x plus negative 5x is negative 3x. And once you have that, we can fill out the rest of our box. 2x divided by x is 2, or you could think of it as what times x gives us 2x. And then not that we really need it to finish dividing, but 2 times negative 5 is negative 10. So there is our quotient. Our quotient to this problem is x plus 2. Now, let's go to our next slide. I encourage you to pause the video and try this example on the left on your own. But whenever you're ready, hit play, and here we go. So on this particular problem, I'm going to take my divisor, and I'm going to place it right here, x minus 6. And then I'm going to place my x squared right there. X squared divided by x is x. Then I go x times negative 6 is negative 6x. And then I know that these two boxes together should add up to make negative 8x. Therefore, this box should be a negative 2x. If that's a negative 2x, then negative 2x divided by x is negative 2. And then if I wanted to, I can fill in this last box. Negative 2 times negative 6 is positive 12. And that means that our quotient to this problem is x minus 2. Now, I've thrown in this last example. This last example is going to give us a wrinkle. You're like, whoa, Mr. Horn, this problem does not look like the ones that we've done previously. Calm down, take a deep breath. This one works the same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my divisor and I'm going to place it over here on the left just like we did before. Oops, we're using w this time, w plus 9. And now I'm going to take just this term with the largest power and I'm going to place it right there. And let's play the same game. Let's see what happens here. So w to the third divided by w is w squared. And w squared times 9 is 9w squared. Well, now at this point, these two terms should combine. If they're like terms, they're going to add up to give us 10w squared. Because something squared plus something squared, if they're like terms, they would add up to be something squared. And so you're like, oh, this must be 1w squared. Well, if that's 1w squared divided by w is 1w. And then 1w times 9 is 9w. And you're like, oh no, what do we do now? Relax, we can extend our box. Remember how when we multiply polynomials, how our box can shift and change depending on our number of terms? We can extend our box out if we need it. Now I know that 9w plus something is going to give us 13w. And hopefully you're saying, oh, that must be 4w because 9w plus 4w is 13w. Well, now we're ready to divide. 4w divided by w is 4. And then 4 times 9 is 36. So therefore, I didn't give myself room to write it over here to the side, but there is our quotient. It is w squared plus 1w plus 4. Now, the only thing I didn't address in this video is what to do if you have a remainder, because sometimes you divide polynomials and there is a remainder. That is going to be in my next video.